Well, hello, Viking baseball fans, and welcome to this edition of the T-Mobile Paul Kino Lamar Viking Baseball Coaches Show. Could we have a longer title? Well, welcome, everybody. I'm Bill Frawley, and with me, of course, as always, head Viking baseball coach Paul Kino. Coach, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good, Mr. Frawley. I'm so glad that we're doing this. I mean, I took us a little while to get this first one rolling, but I'm so glad to get it going.
I am too. This is like one of my favorite things to do, and people are envious, I think, in different schools that we get to do this, and you make it great. So
Oh, you make it great. I just get on camera and try not to mess things up.
I think and I think just about every show we've done, at least in the last, what, 8 years at least, I think they've all been, now I'm going to jinx it, but they've all been one take shows. We've not had to, oh, let's
That's
start
true.
over. Of course, we might have a dog barking in the background here or there, but hey, that's just part of quote live, whatever. So, well, you're in Arlington, of course, at home. I happen to be in Lake Charles, Louisiana this evening, uh, traveling around like I've done forever, but it's all right because of Zoom. We can be at the same place basically. Well, Coach, let's just start kind of recapping the different phases of the season so far. It starts off obviously with the tryouts, and then some
Mhm.
practices. It goes right into scrimmages. What do you want to say about any of that phase of the season?
I mean, tryouts are, things that, I look forward to. At the same time, I don't like because you hate cutting kids. It's something that we don't take lightly. You're
Sure.
you're dealing with a young man's emotions and their dreams and so it's not a very fun time for us. And that it's fun that we're getting the baseball season rolling, but that's not really exactly a real fun thing for us to do. Once the teams were made, had really good practices, got pitchers' arms in shape, led into scrimmages. We scrimmaged really well, pitched really well. Going into about the third scrimmage, had a little shock. Had our number one decide that he needed to work and couldn't play baseball anymore. So, that kind of hurt a little bit. I mean, last year he was 6-1 with a 1.29 ERA. Expecting him to come back, be the guy on the mound, lead the staff. And he was throwing great. He was doing a great job, and it was just unexpected because I mean it was out of the blue. I mean the day before in practice he's laughing and joking, and then the next day he goes, "Coach, I need to talk to you." And I was like,
Oh
"Okay."
man.
And I was like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "What's going on?" He goes, "Coach, I can't play anymore." He goes, "I got to work." And so I mean you hate it for the kid. As we know, we're gonna have plenty. You have enough time to work for the rest of your life. You have very little time to be a kid. So tried to talk to him, and his mind was made up. He's a great young man. I just feel for him because he's 18
Sure.
years old. Uh, but tough on the team to lose that. Uh, you know, our kid, I'm going to say our number three, was a sophomore last year. He's a junior this year. Starting quarterback on the football team. He decided he wanted to run track and get faster for football. Well, I mean, it hurts. I mean, you want him to play baseball, but at the same time, you want to support him and you want him to do what he wants to do and what he thinks needs to help him in football. But it hurts, and it would help. It hurt our team, so we lost two really quality arms on the hill, and good kids, good young men, and so we've we've had some kids step up. I mean, they're young. We've got some sophomores. We had a really talented freshman group last year, so they're very talented sophomores. Uh, and they've been doing a good job. I mean, they're going to make mistakes because they're young, but they're learning and they have a fast learning curve, and they're doing a really good job. Carson Tressy's a senior, is doing a good job. We have other pitchers, Colton McKay. I don't want to leave them all out, but
Right.
they've thrown well through tournaments, so I'm very excited about it. We're into district. We got two wins against Haltom. We got Martin this week. Um, Martin's a good baseball team. We're a good baseball team. We need to go over and play well and give ourselves an opportunity to win a couple ball games. You're going to have to play well against them because they're, like I said, they're a good team. You have to bring the A game. Play good defense, pitch well, uh, hit well. Uh, and that's one thing that has been a real strong point for our team so far this year is hitting the baseball. We we have done a great job about getting our hands on top of the baseball and hitting line drives and ground balls. Um, and they found holes, and we have a lot of guys hitting for high batting averages right now. And just knock on wood. Hopefully that continues. exactly right there.
Yeah.
Hopefully that continues. So I mean, it's exciting. I think this is a playoff team. I believe in these young men. Um, I say that pretty much every year, but I do believe we have a playoff team every year.
Sure.
So I'm excited about this season. I'm excited about see how it's going to go. I'm excited about going and playing Martin this week. You want to play good people, and you want to go out there and you want to compete against good people, and let's go out there and get after it and see what happens.
Well, speaking of competing against good people, and I've known this about you since I became involved with this program, doing what I do 15 or 16, whatever years ago, you find tournaments that the team, Lamar Vikings, are going to have to compete because they're going to be playing playoff teams, not
Yes.
just because, yeah, and good. Hey, number one, number two seeded to
Mhm.
playoff. How does that impact? Because I know some people get, and we've talked about this before, but some people get caught up in, oh, we're 500 for a team right now, but you're 500 against a slew of really great teams. How does that help prepare the Vikings for
I
the
think
future?
I don't get caught up with wins and loss records. Not before district. To me, what matters is district.
Yeah,
Bottom line is, do we win enough ball games in district to go to the playoffs? Hopefully win a district championship, but win enough to go to the playoffs. And everything before that is to get you prepared for district. And so, I mean, there's times, I've been, if we play 15 games, 5 games a tournament, 3 tournaments, there's times I've been 8-7, 9-6, you know, 10-5, whatever. There's times I've been on the other side of it, been I don't want to say 4-11. It's never been that bad, but I mean, but
6 and 9, whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I've been on the other side of it. And uh you just got to make sure the kids understand it. You know understand we're playing good people to get ourselves prepared, and my biggest worry. It's not myself or my coaches. We understand we're grown ups. Kids don't always see the big picture, and as much as we'd like to think that they're adults and try to treat them like adults, they're still kids, and they get caught up. They have emotions, and they get caught up sometimes not seeing the big picture. And oh, we're 6-9 or we're 5-10. But out of the 15 teams you've played, the 15 games you played, 13 of them are going to be playoff teams. So basically, every time you step on the field, you're playing playoff baseball, and
yeah.
that's what we want to do. We want to play good people that are going to be playing playoff baseball, and that's going to prepare us for our district and hopefully the playoffs.
Exactly, and just like you said, and coming up this week, you got Martin, and they are a playoff team.
Yes.
They're very talented. And you've touched on this already a little bit, but let's go a little deeper if it's all right.
Yeah.
The offense this season is one of the best I've seen collectively in a while, and you talked about a lot of high batting averages. Hey, is a high batting average, is getting on base, is hitting the ball well, is that contagious or is that
I
silly
think it
kind of a
is.
myth?
I think it truly is contagious. I
Okay.
think when you get guys hitting, it takes pressure off that you don't feel like you have to be the guy that hits. So the more guys that hit, it just seems to take pressure off the team. And I think it's contagious. You relax at the plate more. Obviously, I do believe that, you know, I think you like to say it, the Yogi Berraism, but I think the game is so mental. If you have the ability to play, it's so much mental, and part of it's feeling relaxed, part of it's feeling confidence. Confidence to me comes from very hard work. That's how you gain confidence. It's from working very hard at your craft, whether it's hitting, fielding, whatever it is, and and you do that, and that's how you gain your confidence. And then you go in and you're able to be successful because you're confident. You've put in the hard work. You have other teammates that have done the same thing. You don't have to carry the team. I just need to be one of the guys, and I just need to do my part. And because I've put in the work and I've worked my tail end off and I've done everything that I'm supposed to do and maybe above, that I know that I've given myself a chance to be really successful. And that's what these kids have done. They've worked very, very hard. They've been pretty coachable as far as talking about. There's a lot of different philosophies out there. um, I believe in what we teach. Coach Goodman and I see things pretty much straight on the same way. And we're big about hands, top hand, drives the barrel. If you lose your top hand, you're going to get under the ball a lot, you're going to fly out. Ground balls and line drives win ball games, home runs happen. We're not trying to hit fly balls. We're not Major League Baseball. We're not trying to, one swing changes the game. I mean, there's we got a lot of guys that can be really good hitters, but we don't necessarily have a lot of guys that are going to hit home runs. And
Right.
if they go out and they try to hit,
Consistently. Yeah. Sorry.
yeah, if they go out and they try to hit home runs, they won't be very good hitters.
Right.
So, bottom line is let's be good hitters. And as you grow and you develop and if you get to play at the next level and you're 6'3" and they want to change your swing, let them change your swing. But go ahead and hit 360, 370 down here and give them an opportunity to play at the next level.
Sure.
So but I'm very excited for them. I mean, I'm very excited about them, excited for them also because they're having good seasons, and that makes it so much fun to see a coach, to see your players have good seasons, see them smile, see them enjoy the game because the game can be very, very humbling very quickly.
Oh yeah, and one of the things, speaking of like confidence at the plate, and I've heard some players, and I think I've heard you say this at times, is step into the batter's box and with the mindset, I'm going to hit this pitch, and then
Yeah.
decide to lay off of it if it's not
Mhm.
a good one or not your pitch or whatever. Is that a pretty
Oh yeah. I mean, we
feasible?
talk about it all the time. We talk about being aggressive, hunting fastballs. Um, what you're saying is our attitude is yes, yes, no. So it's yes, I'm swinging. Yes, I'm swinging. Yes, I'm swinging. Oh, it's a ball. No, I'm not swinging. We're not trying to see if it's a strike to swing the bat. We want to be aggressive. We're telling ourselves we are swinging until we tell ourselves we're not swinging. So, it's a mental attitude,
Sure.
and we want to be aggressive. And, I think aggressive people win.
Yep. And then so being aggressive at the plate, and then if you're not going to be hitting a lot of home runs, and most high school teams don't hit a lot of home runs, you have to manufacture runs. You have to take advantage of. You get base runners, whether it's a base hit, an error, fielder's choice, walk, hit by. There's a lot of ways to get on, but then you've got to be smart on the bases, and that's something that I think I've seen overall, especially progressing through this season so far.
Well, we have a lot of young men, and some of our older kids have started for 3 or 4 years.
Hmm.
So we have some guys that have some experience, and we have some guys that have some speed, which is really nice. So I mean, we're able to do some things on the base pass because they can run, and like you said, I think we've seen a lot of good base running. Haven't seen as many base running mistakes so far. So knock on wood again that keeps happening. But there, you like to say things, but you don't want to go in because I don't know who watches this. So,
Yeah, I
I
got you. No, hey, that's cool.
want to say a whole
Yeah.
bunch of things, but
No.
you know, we got some team speed, so
Yeah,
it helps out.
that's get place to stop or whatever. And then I guess likewise, when you got a pitcher on the mound, they got to be able to get the ball across the plate in the
Hmm.
strike zone. We've talked about for pitch for contact, but being aware of those base runners, that's a tough challenge. You got one, two, or three base runners, you know, checking this base, that base. Oh yeah, I got a batter here. I got to throw across the plate or to get him to chase one. That's not an easy task. I
No,
mean,
it's not. I mean, the more base runners you can put on play, the more hectic you can make a pitcher's life. And you want them to feel a little stressed out. You want them to worry about the guy on base. He might make a mistake to the hitter because he's not as focused on the hitter because he's a little bit more focused on the guys who are on base.
yeah,
So it all kind of goes hand in hand. We like what we preach to our pitchers. You know this. I mean, you've been doing this for a long time. We've been talking together for a long time. We've been friends for a
yeah,
long time. So I mean, we preach our pitchers throw strikes. Don't walk people.
yeah,
We believe in not beating ourselves, giving ourselves an opportunity to win every game. And how you do that is, it's pretty self-explanatory. I think most coaches preach it. They may say it a different way than I do, but we're going to throw strikes. We're not going to walk people. We're going to make them hit the ball. We're going to make them, beat us by hitting the baseball. So if we're going to pitch to contact, we need to play good defense, make the routine play. Those go hand in hand. And if we do those two things, we have a chance to be in every single ball game and have a chance to win pretty much every single ball game.
that's it.
I truly believe that. Compete like crazy at the plate, and and we happen to have a good hitting team this year, so hopefully that continues, and keep competing at the plate, and we'll have a chance, and we'll we'll have a chance to be good.
Heck yeah, you just kind of started to laugh a little bit, and I'll explain why. When you were talking about, getting the visiting the other pitcher, competitor's pitcher, kind of nervous and stressed on the mound. My son David, you might have heard him say this, but I know he said it before high school, during high school, and even a couple of years of college baseball is like creating havoc on the base, base
Oh
paths
yeah,
or on the bases, and doing anything you can to have that pitcher. Oh gosh, I better check.
yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of aspects of the game that it's fun to go sit and watch, but and it can become more interesting the more you think about
Oh,
every element of
exactly.
the game. So
Oh, exactly.
yeah, um, you've mentioned some of the biggest challenges, losing some players. And we've talked about offense. What are some of the brightest maybe spots? If you haven't mentioned one yet, you've mentioned some. Is there anything else that's worth?
Oh, I mean, it seems like every year you find something that you weren't quite looking for.
Okay,
You thought they were a good player, but they're maybe a little further along than what you thought they were at that time. And I mean, I'll tell you right now, Colton McKay has stepped up. I mean, we were kind of looking for a left fielder. Uh, you know, he's just been hitting the ball. And I said, I asked him, I said, if you played outfield before, and he said, well, I played when I was younger, and he's a good athlete, he's a middle infielder. So I said, I want you to go work out in the outfield a little bit. And so, I mean, he's just kind of stepped up and took the left field job. He's having a great season, hitting 370, 380. Just I knew he was a good player, but you didn't know if he was quite ready yet.
right,
Um, and he just stepped up and just took it. I mean, that's been a wonderful surprise. Uh, you know, um, Colton Quesada, we knew he was going to be good, but just stepping up, and stepping in, we didn't think he was going to have to be one or two this year. You know,
right.
thought it'd been Nate and somebody else, and but he's kind of been forced into it, because we thought it'd been Nate, a Gannon, a Tresh, you know,
Right.
but he's kind of been forced into being one of the top two pitchers, and he's done a fantastic job and handled it well. And you know, that's one of the things that we always, last year as a freshman when he pitched some on the varsity, that he was unflappable. Nothing really bothered him, and so it's really awesome to see him step up. And I said, are you ready to be a one or two? And he goes, you can count on me, coach. You know that.
Awesome. That's
Basically, I mean,
confidence.
yeah, I mean, so I mean, he's that kind of kid. So I mean, that's awesome to see. And I mean, just a lot of them. Jalen Humble's great player, great hitter. You know, you know, Cooper Schuette's having a great year. Cooper Bernard's having a great year. I mean, you can go on and on and on. Greco's having a great year as a junior. I mean, so I mean, it's just guys keep going, performing, keep playing within themselves, keep doing the little things right, little things to make them better. And it's just all of it put together, So it's
Yep.
been so far it's been awesome. And just want to keep it rolling, trying to keep it on
Hey,
track, trying to guide it.
there you go. Well, and it's like herding cats, 8, 17, 18-year-old,
It's
teenage
not easy
testosterone
sometimes.
filled
I mean,
cats.
it's not easy sometimes. I mean, it's just being honest that, trying to manage, 16, 17
Yeah.
kids every kid's different, so kind of trying to manage each one of their
Yeah.
personalities, then try to get them all fired up, get them ready to understand, how they have to practice. Today, I'll be honest, like today, I talked to him, we weren't as sharp as I wanted to be.
Okay.
I tried to talk to him about, I said, what's a Monday practice? We're in district, so it's not necessarily a long practice like it has been like at the beginning of the season. So you want it to be sharp. I don't want to keep you out here, till 5 o'clock. I want to get you home at 4:30. You know, I want your legs. I want you to be fresh. We're 2 months
Yeah.
into the season basically, so I want you to be fresh. I want to get you in and I want to get you out. So, but what I'm looking for is high execution. You know, I want it to be a quick practice, a crisp practice. And it wasn't quite as crisp as I wanted it to be. So I talked to him about, what are we looking for on a Monday practice? What are we looking for on a Thursday practice the day before games? It's not necessarily ton of reps when we're running first and thirds and bunt coverages. It's looking crisp. It's making good decisions, look crisp, get in and out of it. And, obviously we're going to hit batting practice like we always do. We're going to take ground balls like we always do. But in our situations, that's where we can cut a little time out but it's looking crisp and it's execution and get them in, get them out, and then get them
Yep.
home.
Yep.
And it wasn't quite as crisp as I wanted it to be today, and so I wanted them to understand, and and I wanted them to expect more from themselves and have a higher expectation of what they need to do.
I think that's a key point, coach, is it's one thing if a coach or at home a dad or mom, uncle, whoever says, wow, kind of disappointed that could have gone better. But when you can get them to thinking, wow, we could have done better even at a Monday practice, that's where and that's life lessons like we always
Mhm.
talk about too. Yeah. All right. Well, let's switch over and talk about Booster Club a little bit. Such a vital part of a successful program, and not just successful because of wins and losses, but all the things that a Booster Club brings to the game
Oh, I
and
mean,
the team.
I'd say it every year. I have the best booster club in the state of Texas. Um, they're incredible. Everything they do for us, the money they raise for our program, so that we can do things and get things that we need to get for or we want to get for our kids. You said it. I don't care what a school district could give each team, it will never be enough. I think
Mhm.
AISD gives us a good amount to use to spend in tournaments and equipment and all that, but it's never enough. So I mean, you got to have a great booster club, and I'm lucky. Like I said, I have the best booster club in the state of Texas. Um, they allow us to do things. They do things for our field. They fixed it up. Uh, make our facilities look better. New uniforms, different things here and there. New machine. They got us a new pitching machine this year.
So
I
there's two
asked
now,
for it.
correct?
Yeah, we have two of them. So I mean, we have one on the field, one in the cages going
Yeah.
every single day. I mean, they bought us a fly ball machine 2 years ago. I mean, you can't do it without a booster club. We had a fly ball machine, but it gets older and breaks down. So they got us a new one. So I mean, that's what booster clubs do. And like I said, I have the best one in the state of Texas.
Well, and it's been a lot of fun getting to know some of the parents I didn't know as well before being up there, going down into the concession stand, just walking around the field before and after, and of course with the new freshman players coming in or new at whatever age level they are new to the program, it's really good. And I'll send out this kind of plug: get involved, work the concession stand, especially if it's a game your son is or nephew, grandson, whatever is not playing, because that's a great way to help and to raise money. Excuse me, get all choked up about it. But it is a great group of people. So, hey, one more time, speaking of the support stuff, I want to mention we let off with this is the T-Mobile coaches show, and T-Mobile and Austin Happel, who is a former Lamar Viking
Yes.
student and athlete, he works at T-Mobile on the north side over there off Lamar, and he made it possible so that back in football season we had an internet tower
Mm-hmm.
machine. I'm not a techno dude, but it and we get to use it for baseball so that hopefully our first broadcast will be this Friday against Martin. But we hopefully will not have any glitches or
Oh,
interruptions in our
nice.
streaming. We did every football game this season and no glitches, no
That's
interruptions.
awesome.
So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. So T-Mobile, and just like all the sponsors with the banners out in the outfield and stuff, man, even if you can't support these businesses, stop by, find a way to tell them thank you, because
Mm-hmm.
those are, you know, revenue generating for the booster club as well, which makes it all so successful and important.
No,
Well,
that's
coach,
awesome.
anything else you want to add before we close off for this week?
No, just excited for this week. Excited to play Martin. Like I said, I like to play good teams. I want to go out
Yeah.
and compete and see where we're at. I think I have a good team. Um, you know, just I love baseball. I love these kids. I love Lamar High School. So, I've been fortunate enough to be there a long time, 23 years. And I don't think there's a better high school in the state of Texas. I really, truly, not to say that anything against any other sports, but I think I coach the best kids that go to Lamar High School. Like I said, I feel fortunate that I get to go to practice and work with them every single day and get to coach them. Um, so, when baseball season rolls around, life's good.
Oh
So
yeah.
it might be hectic, but it's good. And just happy. I'm ready to go play this week.
Awesome. Well, coach, thanks for making time for this as you always do. And I'm glad we finally synced up, and now we'll try to get onto every Sunday or Monday top
Yes,
weekly
sir.
schedule through the season and through the postseason, all the
Yes, sir.
playoff games that are coming ahead. So, well, until next time, I'm Bill Frawley with head Viking baseball coach Paul Kino saying VFND.